morning and good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is Tuesday, which means we have good news today. Yes, we have all the happy, positive news to make you have hope in humanity again. Yes, yippee! This is the first and only international game show, Before Coffee, a father and daughter news podcast where we look up our stories right before the show starts. We just got caffeine in our body and we're learning to read and speak live on stream. Let's get into those good Newsday headlines and spin that segue wheel. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Today on Good Newsday. Here's what Andy Burnham can do right away to address homelessness and NEETS crisis in the UK. Plus, the UK government unveils a £45 million music plan to support grassroots sector artists and businesses.
Yes, and California needs water and clean power, and solar panels over canals will fix both, we hope. And there is a Santa and Elves convention in Denmark a couple of weeks ago.
Oh. Are you a billionaire with a private jet? Well, look into this new stubborn plastic weight jet fuel, which uses 82% of plastic, and you can save the environment at the same time. Yeah. Plus, woman starts law school at 47 despite feeling too old. Over 10 years later, she now leads her own all-woman firm.
More good news on Good Newsday. A solid-state battery airplane has made its first flight, and the underground fridge that keeps food cool even in a heat wave.
In my culture news, Warner and Paramount's merger is paused by a judge after challenge from 12 states.
And it's national, it's National Be Someone today. Boy, I think everybody's someone. I don't think you can avoid being someone, because you are automatically someone. It is July 21st, 2026 on Before Coffee.
Yeah, I don't know how you exactly stop being somebody. That's a good thing to succeed at.
Someone. I am not a automaton. I am a...
But I think it's specifically for being somebody for a child. So, helping a child in need, saving them from abuse.
Selectively pronounce the same word 4 different ways, so I'm a bot. Yeah, anyway.
Let's roll our first segue for our first section of good news stories.
Be someone. Don't be a bot.
Be someone for a child, specifically, actually, but yeah.
I'm just a glitchy bot. That's my excuse. I'm a glitchy bot.
These stories remind you of a song.
Oh, yeah, the glitchy bot song. I just wrote it.
This first story is coming from The Big Issue by Liam Garrity. I don't know how to say his name. Homelessness and employment should be the top of the new Prime Minister's list of priorities. Here's what Andy Burnham could do in his first 100 days to curb that. Andy Burnham will now have the customary bulging in a tray waiting for him, just like any other Prime Minister. The global challenges of the wars in the Middle East and Ukraine, and managing the special relationship with U.S. and Donald Trump, addressing the cost of living as well as political disillusionment and division on the home front. There are no shortages of challenges, not least in convincing all Labour MPs that he can succeed where Keir Starmer failed, batting off calls for a general election and persuading weary voters he has a hopeful, workable vision of Britain. But in the first 100 days, Big Issue would like to see an action on 2 crises that threaten to drive poverty in the present and the future: homelessness and youth unemployment. Here's what Burnham can do immediately to make a difference. Matt Downey, chief executive of Crisis, says that he'd like to see Burnham announce a new Labour-style homelessness and rough sleepers task force. Labour all but ended rough sleeping in 2000 under the Tony Blair through the Rough Sleepers Union. Downey would like to see a revival set up at the heart of the government to directly work with mayors and local leaders. The first 100 days provided a vital opportunity to set an agenda on how we tackle homelessness, said Downey. With record numbers of families trapped in temporary accommodation and rising homelessness across the country, we need a bold new direction on housing to ensure everyone has a safe, secure home. Also on the crisis chief executive's wish list is for Burnham to unfreeze housing benefit which Starmer maintained during his tenure, and bring forward the £39 billion affordable homes program funding to boost the number of homes for social rent. We cannot leave families in temporary accommodation missing out on simple joys of childhood any longer, added Downey. Everything starts with a safe, secure home. With the right political will and policies, we can make that a reality for everyone. Also, hello, Hangry. Thank you for stopping by. More than 1 million people aged 16 to 24 are not in education, employment, or training as Burnham enters number 10. There's more than 1 out of every 10 people. The so-called NEETs crisis is not only a challenge for leaders chasing every elusive growth, it risks condemning young people in poverty in the future. Burnham launches the Greater Manchester Baccalaureate MBACC while mayor in the region, aiming to guarantee every young person had a clear path into a jobs and training opportunities. Catherine Parsons, Big Issue Managing Director, wants Burnham to give employers more confidence to take on young people, she said, including training them, right? Because a lot of people, you don't get taught how to, run a till in school. There's no training certificate you can get for running a till. You just have to teach people on the job how to do those things. There's plenty of things. Yeah, there's plenty of things young people learn on the job. And then there's plenty of old people, I guess, who are going, you don't know already how to do this? Well, I just entered the job market. I'm 19 years old. How would I have learned it before now? Impatient adults, it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me.
It seems like schools should have more technical stuff in it anyway. It's always the way to me. It's like life isn't a fucking bunch of tests, It's like, prepare for that test. It ain't that way.
Ashley Tate, Senior Policy Advisor at the Work Foundation at Lancaster University, said devolution and affordable transport, two Burnham favorites, could make a big difference in the short term. Where you live matters, Atley told Big Issue. Young people tell us it's not just the lack of jobs, but buses and trains are expensive and not always frequent enough to get the jobs that do exist. In the first 100 days, the government could provide funding for subsidized or free youth travel to remove a big barrier to accessing a job. The Burnham government must also build on the jobs guarantee, but make it bolder to fit local realities, she added. The delivery opportunities in every postcode, young people need real jobs with flexible part-time options and genuine progression. These need to be delivered to the youth charities and colleges that youth people trust, not just national contractors. This reminds me of the fact that the Netherlands actually has a tax write-off for you if you travel to work all the time, right? I think you get a 75% off if you're traveling for work. So you don't even pay full price for your bus and your train and stuff. They should pass something like that, right? There's plenty of people who are traveling from somewhere into London, right? And those London trains are really expensive.
They should give you vouchers for saving energy, and then you can trade them for there or something.
Yeah, maybe. But there's my first big story about the new prime minister who was Andy Burnham is finally actually sitting in a seat as of yesterday.
Yeah, we can't wait until he starts making parody songs.
And Tommy told me he supposedly was going to end homelessness. So here's some ideas of what you could do, I guess. There you go.
We don't have homeless in America. We have houseless. They have homes. Yeah. It's not houses.
Home is where the heart is.
Cars are home.
Does this remind you of a song?
Yeah, it reminds me of a song of what's his name? Keir Starmer's doing now. What's he doing today? It reminds me of the song, I don't want to work. I just want to bang on the drum all day. He's celebrating. I don't have that shitty job anymore. You think you punished him by getting rid of his job? He loves it. He's still in Parliament. He didn't leave Parliament.
Yeah.
And now he gets bitch constantly, just like everybody else.
And then he gets to go. He gets to go like this. I wouldn't have done that when I was prime minister.
And when he agrees with something, he goes, "Hit it." What do they say when they disagree? They go,
I'm sure a lot of politicians, when they get booted out and like are still in the government, are just waiting for the chance to go, "Told you so. Told you this wasn't going to solve your problem."
I'm a big fan. It's so entertaining. What made this? As a guy who just got all about.
Let's see what happens. All right, my next story
is
also coming out of the UK.
Nigel. Sorry.
And the UK does use your tax money sometimes for good things, like this £45 million music plan. This is from Christian Eade on DG Mag. The UK government has unveiled a new plan to support the music sector alongside a £50 million boost to its music growth package, taking a total investment into the program to £45 million. Announced this week by Cultural Secretary Lisa Nandy at the UK Music Summer Party, the music plan aims to support thousands of grassroots projects, over 40,000 artists and businesses, and millions of young people as part of an effort to secure the future of UK music industry. This includes those clubs people like to hang out in, to hear these grassroots musicians. They're not going to go out of business because they can't afford rent or whatever. The plan includes a £15 million boost to existing music growth package, taking the total value to £45 million over the next 3 years. Delivered via Arts Council England, the funding will support more than 2,000 people, with funding also open up to mid-career artists, band managers, labels, and publishers for the first time. Like independent small publishers. Alongside the expanded music growth package, the new music plan includes several newly announced initiatives. At least £12.5 million will support a Music in Libraries program, which is the thing that is being supported by Ed Sheeran, helping libraries across England create dedicated music spaces with free studio facilities, recording equipment, and live performance opportunity. A further £10 million will fund a creative mentoring scheme, providing care-experienced children and young people with access to creative opportunity and one-to-one mentorship across music, film, and art. The government will also introduce licensing reforms aimed at reducing bureaucracy for festivals and outdoor events. Yeah, I wanted to sign up to be in this festival as a grassroots performer, but they wanted me to provide all these forms that don't even exist for me because I'm not a huge organization. And now they won't accept me in. Yeah, we're going to get rid of all that paperwork. Organizers will have access to a longer license, while councils will be able to issue up to 20 temporary event notices per year, up from 15. 5 extra temporary notices. Announcing the new plan collectively, Nandy said, "Music is our shared language. It brings people together, breaks down barriers, and gives voice to every community. A time when too many people feel disconnected, music has never mattered more. As the song says, every generation throws a hero up on the pop charts, but pop is getting posher. And that must change. Talent is everywhere, but opportunity is not. After a decade of mindless vandalism that stripped culture and creativity from too many classrooms and communities, we are putting music back on the heart of education, investing in creative careers, and backing grassroots music across the country." And then she keeps talking for like 5 more paragraphs. No, it really does keep going.
She lays out the superlatives, does she?
Yeah, she's like, we're great. I feel great about myself. It's a good that you feel great about yourself, Nandy. The Nighttime Industries Association, NTIA, has welcomed the government's plan, with CEO Michael Kill. This guy's name is Michael Kill. Love that. Commenting, "It is extremely encouraging to see the government deliver a long-term strategy that recognizes music as one of the UK's greatest cultural and economic assets. We've been proud to work alongside colleagues from across the industry to help shape this plan. It is positive to set the collaboration translate into meaningful action. The success of UK music depends on every part of the ecosystem working together. That means supporting not only artists and venues, but also festivals, promoters, clubs, DJs, producers, electronic music and the independent business that develop talent and create opportunities across the country. These are the vital parts of our music landscape and deserve recognition and support. G. Davey, CEO of the Association of Independent Music, AIM, has also shared the statement. The attention to recognition in the government's new music plan for the need to address all aspects of our interwoven music ecosystem is very welcome, as is the acknowledgement of the need to develop support small business infrastructure UK-wide, rather than see power concentrated in the hands of just a few, in order to ensure the UK's future as the pinnacle of music innovation. That's true. The UK is famous for innovating music, or at least taking things and making them better. A lot of people say that about rock and roll for a while.
UK has not invented any music, as far as I know, but they act like they invented punk. So
music has recently.
Anyway.
Music has recently ranked the UK's biggest source of cultural pride in new study by the British Phonographic Industry (BPI). So, when they asked, "What are you proud of as a British person?" they were like, "The music we make is amazing. Everyone loves our music. We got garage, we've got punk, we've got rock music, we've got Britpop. You know,
folk
so
music. Many." All music is folk music. They call it folk music.
See, he's proud.
All music is
British
folk music.
Yeah.
Unless it's computerized, generated, made up, AI crap, then it's not folk music. It's nothing.
All right, this is all up to you to remind you of a song. This had to remind you of something.
Remind me of a song, right? You know what this leads to? It's going to lead to a utopia that we didn't see coming, and we're going to call that future utopia Boogie Wonderland. And that's the song that reminds me of Boogie Wonderland by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Dance! Boogie Wonderland! There you go, singing. There's your bingo card.
Dance, dance, dance. Yeah. Boogie Wonderland! They do that. Yeah. I love that part where they
I have my own
really long
time signature. My own time signatures. So, I'm keeping time, I'm not just singing.
All right, let's celebrate the British Boogie Wonderland.
Boogie Wonderland in the future, you guys. To the streets.
Not Tommy sad horning it.
The world,
this is not sad, it's happy.
Streets. Oh yeah. Let's go. Can't wait.
All right. We start dancing. We're bringing back disco for this.
Yeah, that'll happen with one person dying. I'll be dancing in the street. So we won't go there. Spin the wheel.
All right. Next one. Next segue. I'm going to give you an alliteration headline.
You got to think.
Alliteration.
California water and clean power. It might have a fix for both. This is according to the New York Times, who I was able to click so I didn't get their pay window, I hope. But it says it's written by Quinn Glabicki. Quinn Glabicki. Old Quinn. In California, a sprawling 4,000-mile network of canals winds through citrus orchards and fields of tree nuts, delivering irrigation and drinking water to homes and farms across the state. Of course, we're supporting with all that free water the almond industry. In California, the canals are a critical, increasingly arid part of the country, but what if they could help fulfill another urgent need, renewable energy? To test that idea, researchers, private enterprise, and public utility in the Central Valley installing solar panels atop the man-made waterways. Hello, brain. Should have thought of this a long time ago. The pilot program called Project Nexus is, I think we've covered this before, by the way, but we're doing it again. It's testing solar canopies that researchers say could generate gigawatts of power and save billions of gallons of water by providing shade that slows evaporation. Right. Most of that water isn't just sitting in the canal, it's evaporating while it's sitting there. It could be transformational if scaled up, researchers say, in helping the state to meet its ambitious climate and biodiversity goals. California aims to generate 60% of its electricity from renewable sources in the next 4 years, to rely entirely on carbon-free energy by 2045. It also aims to conserve 30% of its open land by I thought I said consume. Conserve 30% of its open land by 2030. Placing solar panels above the canals rather than on undeveloped land or competing for space with agricultural interests. Don't forget parking lots. Parking lots are a great place. Another place for them is railroad bus stops and railroad stops and things like that. Railroad, in fact, I don't know why all electric rails aren't just powered by solar panels. They're all exposed to the sun constantly. The project grew out of 2021 study by researchers at the University of California, Merced, that aimed to assess the viability of solar installation through California's canal network. The simulation modeled the effects of covering all 4,000 miles of the state's major open canals with solar panels. Researchers projected doing so could generate some 13 gigawatts of solar power and save 63 billion gallons of water annually. The various shapes, conditions, and locations of canals make the study's maximum projections nearly impossible to achieve in real life, said Brandy McEwen, a project scientist of UC Merced and lead author of the study, and its costs would be higher than building solar farms on land. It's probably unrealistic to assume we're going to cover all 4,000 miles of California's canals, he said. But the modeling showed that the building solar on even a portion of the waterways can make a meaningful contribution to energy production and water conservation. The study received global attention, and soon after it was published, the state of California contacted Dr. McEwen with a question: could she prove it? The next year, with $20 million in state funds and a mandate to test their projections, Dr. McEwen and her colleagues found locations in the agrarian corridor south of Modesto, which is way up there in the Central Valley, and a partner in the 139-year-old Turlock Irrigation District, the oldest canal operator in the state. The community-owned utility operates 250 miles of canals and distributes nearly electricity to 240,000 people. Their Project Nexus partners included the Irrigation District, UC Merced, and development firm called Solar Aquagrid tested these designs, eventually constructing steel scaffolding above two canals, a narrow one no wider than an alleyway, and a larger one roughly the width of an 8-lane highway. Together, the installations cover an area the size of 1.5 football fields away. Here's that unit of measure again, the football field, generating a combined 1.6 megawatts of power. There's something we get our hands around. Now, 1.6 megawatts is about... I don't want to get my hands around
that much. I don't want my hands anywhere near that much energy.
That's more than you use in the house. They built panels facing south and west, experimenting with a rail system that allows workers to pull the panels aside to access the canal below, all in an effort to prove the concept might work for the myriad canal types widening across California and beyond. So the sun's free, and all we need to do is harness that power, and we don't have to sit around and go, oh, let's drill more oil holes. We need to look for oil under the ground because that's so special. No, we don't need that crap. There's your fun little good news story and update on California covering your canals. Or as the headline should read,
Sun-kissed solar panels safeguard sparkling spring, spreading sustained sun-touched surges so far.
Holy crap. I'm glad I stopped the story when I did. You would have had more.
Yeah.
I would have never stopped. You'd still be reading the headline.
So far, unstopped, but no, unstopped, don't worry.
Susie Simpson sells street cells at the seashore. On the next story, let's go to the next story. Let's talk about Santa. Yeah, July. Why not?
Oh, more S's.
Yes, more Santas. AP News, James Brooks has the story. I don't think it's James Brooks, the same guy who started Cheers, but it might be. And the Simpsons, I think we still got it. Executive producer of Simpsons either. James Brooks, different James Brooks. This is from Aalborg, Denmark, from AP. While Europe's still in the throes of summer heat, it's beginning to look like a lot like Christmas in the Danish city of Aalborg. At least was it like a couple of weeks ago, July 9th. So 12 days ago, I did. Dozens of Santas, Mrs. Clauses, and elves from around the world have descended on Denmark's fourth largest city for the Nordic nation's annual World Santa Claus Congress, a colorful midsummer tradition for decades. Ho, ho, ho. First staged at an amusement park near Copenhagen in 1957, the Congress moved to Aalborg in Denmark's Jutland Peninsula 2 years ago. Yeah, they were clogging up the center of the city in Copenhagen, I guess, maybe. I don't know. This year, the Santa suits looked a little stifling under the Danish summer sun. Oh, a little bit, huh? Don't forget the days are like 20 hours long, too. The event, which marks the 70th anniversary next year, was created to entertain children, but became a popular gathering for Santas who appear in stores and shopping malls during the Yuletide season. Let's see. The gathering offers a chance for professional Santas, not the real one, of course. Not the real one. Ha, 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 ha. To swap stories, compare beards. A real beard helps. I'm not a big fan of fake Santa beards. I don't think anybody can slap on a fake beard. Sharpen their craft and compete in a lighthearted contest months before anyone checks naughty or nice lists for the Christmas rush. AP correspondent. The packed agenda features events like gingerbread eating, gift wrapping. How do you judge that, huh? I guess that'd be easy to judge. I can't gift wrap myself. Balloon modeling and several noisy parades. What good's a parade unless it's noisy? The grandmas say, "Oh, it's early too. It's too early to come here," said organizer Peter Gislud, himself a Santa Claus in Aalborg during the Christmas season. The kids say, "Hooray, Santa's here already!" So he's calling the grandmas the wet fuses. Like, you can't be having Christmas in July. What's wrong with you? With their snappers. And I tell you what, these people are having fun in spite of the fact that they're dressed way too warm for July. Over the years, the annual 4-day gathering has attracted Santas and Mrs. Clauses from as far away as Australia, Hong Kong, Canada, and the United States. Seems like the United States is a hell of a lot closer than Australia to Denmark. But hey, that's just me knowing geography a little bit. Most of these 36 or so Santas and Mrs. Clauses at the Congress this week from Scandinavia, but some flew in like Paradise is his first name. Paradise Yamamoto from Tokyo. Your first name is Paradise. You're already winning at life. This is very fun. So many children. Ho, 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 said Yamamoto with a laugh after parading through Aalborg, waving a Japanese flag and dancing to the song Feliz Navidad, one of the many Christmas classics played during the event. Robert Hers, a 64-year-old Norwegian senator from Oslo, said that despite their different nationalities, all Santa on hand share a gene for generosity and spreading joy. "You have it or you don't," said Hertz, who is attending the Congress for the first time. "We have the true Santa spirit, and it's all about giving, sharing, and putting a little bit of joy in people's hearts. So, ho, ho, ho." Right, one more paragraph. It's not all ho-hoing and belly rubs. When Santas are together, they always mingle and talk a little bit, maybe a little bit of sparkle in the beer, and so that's on, said Gisland. That's a good part of meeting some Santas from all over the world. For Simon Brones, a 33-year-old Danish Santa, the event is proof that the festive spirit isn't just for Christmas. Christmas is not a season, it's a feeling you have in your stomach. So if you want, you can have Christmas the whole year. And just so in case you were wondering, nobody's even mentioning Jesus, and that's supposedly what the holiday's about, right?
Dashing through the sand on a one-horse open... I don't know.
Beach?
Board. You can use a sleigh on sand. Technically, you can use a sleigh on sand.
Feels me go.
A one-cameled open sleigh. This headline should read: Santa's sleigh soar summoning Saint Nick from surrounding shores to celebrate the spectacular World Santa Claus Convention in Spitingly, Denmark.
Holy
some of those
crap.
words.
I'm telling you what, if you have an S on your keyboard, it's completely erased now. When we hitting it.
Mechanical keyboards are for.
Yeah, I know. I'm just joking. It's a joke.
Eric, thank you for your centrist acorn, and hope you're having a good, happy Tuesday. Let's roll that segue.
Hey, that's all my balloon juice for the first segment.
In that segue for my next stories. It's gonna be sarcasm. All right, time to be sarcastic about plastic. Because that's what our first story is coming from. China's new method of turning stubborn plastic into jet fuel. This is from Mrigashi Dixit on Interesting Engineering. Driven by the urgent need to clean up the planet and power the future, the race to convert discarded plastic into functional fuel is gaining rapid traction worldwide. While various global universities have successfully experimented with this concept over the years, a new study from China has reportedly showcased a low-cost chemical method. Focusing on the hydrogenolysis of polyolefins, this research uses a reaction that operates under relatively mild conditions. The chemical process breaks down polyolefins and transforms them into aviation fuel. 1-for-1? 82% actually, not 1-for-1. But 82% is really high for these kind of, right? Because you always have a cost when you do a chemical reaction. There's always going to be something that is used up. So you're never going to get 1-to-1, 100% transference. But 82 is really high. However, the research conducted by Fudan University in partnership with Shanghai Advanced Research Institute is not yet completely ready for practical use. With global plastic production now exceeding 460 million tons annually, the material's extreme resistance to degradation has raised serious environmental concerns. Polyolefins make up most of the global plastic waste. It is the family of plastics behind common items like grocery bags and shampoo bottles. Plastics and fossil fuels share a fundamental chemical trait, being composed of the exact same building blocks. Plastics are created by linking petroleum-derived carbon and hydrogen atoms into incredibly long, tough molecular chains called polymers. Just think about like a bunch of, like, you know how, like what a beehive looks like those kind of chains, right? Just really strong octagons, or maybe they're hexagons? I don't know. Turning plastic back into fuels, essentially a process of reverse engineering, haha, because this is on interestingengineering.com, using heat and chemistry to chop these massive chains back down into short, usable fuel molecules. Jet fuel uses hydrocarbons containing between 8 and 16 carbon atoms, C8 or C16. Until now, attempting to break down plastic chemically has resulted in an erratic mess. The terminal bonds of the absolute ends of the molecular chains would shatter first. This fundamental chemistry issue meant that previous experiments predominantly yielded gases such as methane, rather than the liquid fuel required by commercial airlines, though you can still use methane as a gas for other things. Like, I think you can use methane for airsoft. There's a lot of things that can run off methane, is what I'm saying. But not jet fuel. The South China Morning Post reported that the team solved this by inventing a custom catalyst that pairs cobalt with nickel. In this architectural duo, the cobalt fine-tunes the internal electronic state of the nickel. The shift boosts the catalyst's efficiency to activate hydrogen and selectively cleave the internal carbon bonds of the plastic. It slices the molecular chains in the target medium-sized range while completely preventing the overfragmentation that creates gas. So they break it down, but they don't break it down so much that it turns into gas. The lab results showed that the process delivered a liquid yield of 82.3% under mild reaction conditions. Reportedly, it achieved 79% selectively towards aviation grade C8 and C16 alkalines. One major industrial advantage is the use of cobalt and nickel. Both are highly abundant, dirt-cheap elements. Previous iterations of plastic-to-fuel chemistry mostly used prohibitively expensive noble metals such as platinum or ruthenium. Yeah, good luck with finding those. In addition to economic advantages, the chemical recycling method offers an environmental benefit. A comprehensive life cycle assessment revealed that when operations are powered by renewable energy, the process could cut greenhouse gas emissions by 80% compared to conventional fossil-based fuel production. The hurdle now is scaling up. What works perfectly inside a glass laboratory flask faces unpredictable engineering challenges when transferred to massive industrial reactors. Furthermore, real-world plastic waste is dirty. The researchers know that developing robust pre-treatment systems will be vital to make sure that the plastic is clean so that you can turn it into jet fuel. The closest the industry has come to this practical application includes Clean Planet Technologies, opened the world's first dedicated waste plastics to SAF pilot facility in Kent, the UK. Therefore, there is still significant engineering work to be done before a passenger plane takes off fueled by grocery bags. But there is your story on turning plastic to fuel. We're getting there. Because chemistry is so simple in that way, right? We all start off as one thing and then it just gets more complex. So there must be a way to undo the complexity and turn us back into simple things again. I'm ready for your sarcasm.
I guess sarcasm is easy when you're talking about electricity and scaling things up. Well, yeah, we'll see what it does when we have to power a whole city during a blackout.
Yeah.
That's usually what then.
Yeah, sadly.
I have a fire atoms from the.
Bless me. Yeah, we'll see how useful this jet fuel is when we have to actually, give it all to an entire airport.
That's weak sarcasm. I apologize. I'm waiting for my page to. There it goes. It translates into English because I clicked on the link and it gave me a Spanish page, and I was like, "When are you going to load in English?" And now I'm waiting for the reading page to load. There we go. Okay.
My next
now
story.
It's the Spanish again. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Is from Meredith Wilshire from People.com and the famous magazine. About a woman who became a lawyer, or enrolled, I should say, enrolled to become a lawyer at 47. This is about Abigail Seymour, who's always been one to chase your dreams. Seymour attended film school at New York, NYU, where she graduated with a degree in photography. Well, she got married and then divorced a few years later in 1994. Oh my God. That's when I was born. She moved to Spain to teach English. Wow. She had her midlife crisis, I guess. She was like, that's it, I'm moving to Spain. It was like the sense of wanting to adventure. I was 25 or 26 and I felt like I had a chance to try again. That set me off to the acceptance of renewal, Seymour, now 59, shares. In 1996, she walked the Camino Frances, the 485-mile route on the Camino de Santiago. I met a guy at a party in Madrid, and he was super nice. And he wore a bow tie. 6 months later, I met him again, and he looked completely different. I said, "What happened to you?" He said, "I walked across Spain." She recalls, I was like, oh my goodness, whatever transformed him, I want the same transformation. Is this a white woman? Just curious. That's a very white woman thing to be like. My life is so boring because everything's easy for me. I need to go to Spain and walk 485 miles to change my life. Anyways, this story isn't about making fun of her. She was very drawn for that reason. When she walked, somebody said, if somebody else walks, it's because you did. Then you're done your job. She decided to make the 28-day trek on her own, starting in Roncesvalles, near the border between France and Spain, and ended in Santiago de Compostela. There's actually a movie about this that I saw recently. I'd really never considered going with anyone else. I somehow just knew it was something we could do, and that you would find friends along the way, Seymour shares. So there was a sense of really surrendering to the process by going. It was a sense of being okay with being with myself all day long and being alone, then allowing the journey to take over. As predicted, Seymour met fellow travelers along the trail, some of whom she's still friends with today. I made it to the end, and it was some way a little anticlimactic because I still felt, when I got back to Madrid, I still felt longing for a journey. She didn't get the change she wanted from it. That's when she saw a sign, literally. We had just built a law school in my town called Ellen Law, and it was built in 2006. I would drive past it and think, oh God, it's right there. Seymour shares, I even thought about, well, maybe I'll write a book about lawyers, and I'll go down and shadow people in the courthouses. I wanted to be doing what they were doing rather than watching it. I was looking for something to be my next career after photography. When she was younger, Seymour had contemplated being a lawyer, but never thought she would be able to pass the bar. However, her mindset shifted as she walked the Camino, and this time around she had faith she would be able to handle anything she put her mind to. While Seymour thought she was too old to start a new career, she admits it didn't take much to convince her to try. I was like a touchstone that kept coming back around. It was like a touchstone that kept coming back around because I resonated so much with that woman when I started helping her in her office, she shares. It really called to me, and at that point it started to converge because I was bilingual. I was working in a nonprofit helping immigrants. I was working with an immigrant lawyer. I was like, you mean I could reach my hand out and I could be a lawyer in 3 years? While milling over with loved ones, one response stuck with her. You can change, right? The most obvious thing that anybody could ever say, but it had not occurred to me that I could actually be anything different or just change, and that shifted it for me. Seymour shares, I was like, yeah, maybe I could be a person who doesn't do that, or could be a person who does those things. It was a huge shift in how I saw myself. So at 47, Seymour enrolled in law school. However, during her first year, her sister died, and she admittedly almost dropped out while dealing with the grief. I felt like I slacked on some things. Right after my sister died, I was in a class and I hadn't done the reading. When they called to me, I just said, I'm really sorry. I didn't get a chance to read it. The teacher goes, no problem, it's your career. In front of the class, she recalls. I mean, that's kind of true. That's a very Dutch thing to say. A Dutch person would say that as well to you. Not my problem. You're the one who's paying for this. I still had resentment against him, but he was right. The part of it just kept keeping up, comparing myself to others, and the competitiveness, those parts were hard. I did feel very old. Everyone there was 20, she says. That was a challenge, but they never made me feel like I was 47. They were lovely. That was all in my head. It was rigorous. I welcomed the rigor. I don't want to go back. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to study for any more bar exams, but there was a community. One of the things that kept her going was that she simply didn't want to have to tell anybody that I had flopped out or I'd failed or that I quit. Yeah, stubbornness. If anything, that will always get you through. Seymour took the bar and failed it twice. After the second failed attempt, she went to her therapist looking for comfort, expecting him to tell her it would be okay if she quit and that she should take time for herself. Instead, he said, everything you want is on the other side of that comfort. Deep down, Seymour knew he was right, telling herself, if I don't do this, I will feel horrible and I will be sad all the time as a failure. On her third attempt, Seymour passed the bar. I still get excited to say that I'm an officer of the court. I still get excited and I'm proud to say I'm an attorney, Seymour tells people. It was hard enough to get that, but it was really worth getting. After passing the bar, Seymour worked at a law firm for almost 8 months before deciding, fuck this shit, I'm making my own firm. Ultimately becoming Camino Law. I mean, it must have been tough. You're like an old lady and then there's a bunch of annoying... A lot of law firms, at least in media, right? A bunch of annoying men in there. Like, shut up. We get it. You passed the bar exam. It doesn't mean you're the owner of the world. We have 7 employees, all women. We do family law. We're bilingual, she shares. It's been able to take something that was pretty true. The law is the law. You can't reinterpret that, but you can change how you practice it. The experience of that is different. That's what I saw missing, particularly in the family law and in law that serves women. I'm very proud to have created something that didn't exist before. People told me when I first went to law school, you're going to have a hard time finding a job. The job market's tight. There's something satisfying saying, I found a job and I created one for 7 other people, she shares. There's a real pride in that. Having space where other people can celebrate it with me is really fun. People who work here have been since the beginning, and when it was just a chair, a desk, and a phone. It's really been fun creating something with other people. When looking back on her life, she shares, I was so lucky I got to give birth to a child, I got to adopt a child, I got to go to law, I've gotten to do all these things, and don't feel the same desire to let me try something else. This feels like where I was supposed to be. Ah, what a heart tear-jerking ending to an inspiring story about you're never too old to change your careers. That's the story there. I'm so tired of hearing people.
Long walk. Misunderstood.
And there's so many people out there who are like, I'm too old to do that. I'm like, you're not too old to do anything. If you can walk, you can move, you can speak, you still have a brain, okay. You're not too old.
So the story is about going for a long walk or something, wasn't it?
No, the story is about starting a law degree at 47. But it started with her going on the Camino. Yeah, she went. Okay. Yeah, and then she was like, I don't know. It just started. That was the start of the story.
Okay, I thought it was just taking a long walk. Anyway, my sarcasm was about taking a long walk. And long walks are great if you like blisters.
I'm sure if you walk for 28 days straight, you're gonna get blisters. That's for sure. Blisters from as far as the eye can see.
Going down to medical school, I was like, why do you have the right sarcasm? Some stories that had the Spanish. We're going back to Spain.
Let's go to this day in history.
We're staying in Spain. We're not in this day in history. It's only my second story.
Oh, sorry. You're right. I haven't done my culture news yet. Let's go to your next Good News Tuesday stories. I'll tell you a joke about them.
Joke. All right. We're staying in Spain. We're going to talk about a first battery-powered airplane flight. Yeah, batteries. We're here. We're here in the future, finally. This is from a website that's been translated. So the original one is elconfidencial.esp, I think, because it's in Spanish. Although my translation is from Google, so. A Spaniard has flown the first solid-state electric plane in history. Yes, on June 5th, Spanish test pilot Miguel Iturramendi took off from Zephyrus Municipal Airport in Florida to the command of Helios Horizon, the first manned aircraft in history to fly by solid-state batteries. For decades, a great obstacle for electric aviation has always been the conventional lithium-ion batteries that drive almost every electrical vehicle and the few electrical aircraft that exist. These batteries use a liquid electrolyte to transport the charge between anode and cathode. The result is an architecture that stores little energy per kilo to make a commercial flight of reasonable duration viable. So they're lighter weight than normal ones, they say. However, solid-state batteries could change this, definitely. These batteries replace the liquid with solid materials. That's right. Okay, that makes more sense. These batteries replace that liquid with solid materials, making them more stable in the face of shocks, drilling, and high temperatures. And don't forget, air pressure changes happen when you fly, too. And dramatically reducing the risk of combustion. But the most important thing is that they allow to store much more energy in the same space. Yes, you want to test these things and see if they don't actually implode when you get to a certain altitude. The flight was not spectacular in distance or duration. It was a series of short tests to validate the weight and balance of the device after installing new batteries, but it's of great historical importance. According to the company, Helios Horizon's lithium-ion batteries yielded 260 watt-hours per kilogram. The new solid-state cells reach 410 watt-hours per kilogram, of almost 60% in energy density. Hell, all that means 60% farther you can go in one charge, right? You can convert that to miles. It's not that much to convert that to miles or kilometers, if you wish. Iturramendi expects that figure to increase another 40% in the next 2 years. In addition, they can be charged from near vacuum to 80% in less than 15 minutes. So when you're sitting at the airport waiting for your refuel, it's only going to take 15 minutes to get to 80%. The last 20% takes an hour and a half. But well, I don't know. It's that last 20% that's going to send you down because batteries are going to just get less efficient as you get older. The aircraft also recharges batteries in flight thanks to solar panels installed on the wings of the regenerative flight system that, when the engine is not needed for thrust, employs the propeller as a wind turbine during glide and descents. Regenerative flight, in which you can plan and rotate the propeller during descents, can significantly increase the range of an aircraft. You're basically a glider at some point. How much power do you need to propel yourself down the range as an actual plane cutting through air, right? That's all you really need. The Helios Horizon is not a prototype built from the ground up. It's not. Iturramendi, founder and pilot of the head of the project, started from a Pipistrel Taurus motorized glider. That makes sense. Very lightweight to begin with, to which his team added its own systems of battery management, propulsion, thermodynamic control, and wing extensions and solar panel. The results, aircraft ready to hold. Already holds the world altitude record for electric aircraft, having reached 24,000 feet or 7,300 meters. The goal is now to reach 40,000 feet, which is basically at the threshold of outer space. This is more than 12 kilometers, the height of a commercial passenger jet on stratospheric flights planned for later this year. For the first time, we have battery technology that offers a range and charging time necessary to make commercial electric aviation viable while providing safety the public will demand. Iturramendi said after the test flights, they sure interviewed the pilot a lot. The Helios Horizon is not the only aircraft within the electric aviation ecosystem with advanced batteries, although it is a pioneer in regards to fixed-wing manned aircraft. The technology is making its way first into drones and autonomous vehicles where regulation is looser before jumping to larger manned platforms. There's a quick story, has a lot of pictures.
I love pictures.
But I could not click on the reading pane.
Oh, okay.
Reading pane. It switched back to Spanish when I did that. And you want to hear my Spanish? Maybe I'll try that someday. But there's your story. Let's have a joke about flying in a battery-powered airplane.
Did you hear about the guy who got arrested for eating batteries?
He got arrested or arrested?
Arrested. Did you hear about him?
No, I didn't.
He's got charged.
Ow! Are you positive?
I heard a battery went to school. It wanted to boost its potential.
Oh, wow.
Why are batteries polite?
I don't know.
They know how to conduct themselves properly.
Wow.
Now the airplane jokes. Why did the airplane get sent to his room?
Why?
Bad altitude. This new idea for an airplane. I don't think it's gonna fly. And finally, why can't spiders become pilots?
I don't know.
They only know how to tailspin. Because they're spiders.
Right. Okay. Enough of the jokes. Let's do another story. Hopefully let's talk about keeping your more things in the future to keep your food cold without burning more electricity that heats up the planet. Maybe just use the old-fashioned way. Put it under the ground. Yeah. This is from positive.news. Martin Wright, the underground fridge that keeps food cool, even in a heat wave. Inspired by the olden days ice houses, this underground fridge uses the Earth's stable temperature to keep food cool with little need for mains electricity. Mains electricity, it's a British term, I'm sure.
Yeah, the
high on a hill in North London, there's a fridge in a flower bed. Seen from a distance, it looks utterly incongruous, lying on its side, apparently half buried in soil. Another case of ugly urban fly tipping? No! Not a bit of it. Rather, it offers a way to keep food and produce cool without using the large quantities of electricity on which ordinary fridges depend. Come closer, and you're struck by its size. The door is as tall as a man and it's half as broad. Open it, and you descend step by step into the earth in a small round room lined with shelves. The whole space blissfully cool on a hot summer's day when I visited. On those shelves sits an array of food sheltered from light and heat and kept in a steady cool temperature. A solar-powered ventilation system lets cool air in at night, replacing the warm air of the day. This is a ground fridge, an ingenious modern take on a very old idea. Long before artificial refrigeration, people kept food and drink cool by storing in thick-walled larders, or better still, below ground in earth cellars, or as we call them in the United States, root cellars. Yeah, every home had a root cellar. Every home, where I grew up, had a root cellar, or a basement, or just a straight-up basement right under your house. These exploited the fact that several feet, of course, you need if you're in the Midwest, you need yourself a cellar for tornadoes too. Yeah. So it can serve several functions. And I'm sure England's going to get some tornadoes in the future as the planet heats up. These exploited the fact that several feet below the surface and insulated by the soil and plants above, temperatures remain lower and more stable than they are above ground. I think cavemen know this. Stately homes use a simple principle in their ice houses, where vast blocks of ice melted only slowly through the summer, ensuring there was little risk of guests having to endure a less than ice-cold G&T. The modern version was designed by Dutch inventor Floris Schilderbeek, and until now, he has installed only a handful of locations in continental Europe. Its first UK installation can be found, appropriately enough, in an extraordinary reimagining of urban gardening. Okay. Omved Gardens, as they are known, comprise 2 acres of verdant, tumbling terraces just off Highgate Hill. They are heaven for wildlife and a source of huge range of vegetables and herbs and culinary and medicinal, growing according to permaculture principles. Kites and sparrowhawks arc over the slopes while dragonflies dart across ponds fed by hillside springs. Well, it's like the beginning of a Gothic novel here I'm reading. Created from the relics and rubble from the old garden center, Omved includes a collection of elegant, ecologically designed buildings, house and exhibition center, a kitchen, a seed library, and more besides. run as a community interest company, is a brainchild of social entrepreneur Karen Leeson, whose vision is to reestablish a connection between urban population, food, and nature. It stages workshops, performances, and school visits and plays, hosts an array of artists, horticulturists, chefs among them, fermentation specialist Josephine Merchandise. Her last name is Merchandise. Her last name is Merchandise. Oh my goodness. Is that a British name? I'm Merchandise. Okay, that's interesting. She heads the Regenerative and Creative Kitchen, which makes full use of the garden's bounty. Never mind, 5 a day. I counted about 20 varieties of vegetable on a lunch plate there alone. Yeah, so Amba Gardens is raising their own food and keeping it cold below ground. It doesn't come cheap. A new ground fridge costs about 12,000 pounds plus VAT, which represents a capital outlay. Set against that, however, it's roughly the same storage capacity as a dozen full-size family fridges and uses almost no mains electricity. So you're going to make your money back in not using any power grade electricity. Costs may also come down if it becomes more popular and economies of scale begin to take effect. Economies of scale. This has to be something that we can have basically, we're going to do a number 10 on the Ferguson place, right? That number 10 is your standard refrigerator package, this size, right? Once you become a scalable product, you begin to standardize your packages that you install, right? That's
and then you just say numbers, makes everything quicker. Making it
up as we go along. Yeah, that's a medium-sized house. That's a number 4, and you can just teach your engineers that. It's really funny, says Merchandise, when you're showing people around, school kids, whoever, everyone has the same reaction. It's like, wow, I've never seen that before. We should have this in our school, or on our campus, our community garden. Okay, this is scalable for large places, like prisons, schools, any institutions where you got to keep food cold. So there's your fun little ancient techniques of keeping food cold that we never abandoned ever. We have never stopped doing this. We've never stopped being
people still doing it for sure.
It's just a more efficient way than just sticking things in your fridge.
Yeah.
And it can be cooled externally. So you can even make it cooler than it already is with modern technology. And then nanotechnology that we've developed over the years. It makes things smaller and smaller, so it generates less of a heat signature. Anyway, let's have us a nice joke about refrigeration.
Why did the freezer never graduate?
Hold on a second. I gotta get my soundboard ready. Why did the freezer never graduate?
Because it was set on 0 degrees.
Oh no, that's really cold. Holy crap. Oh no, that's right. And 0 degrees Celsius isn't really cold. But
why should you knock on a refrigerator door before opening it?
Because there's dressing inside.
Yeah, there could be salad dressing, specifically a salad dressing. I bought you a new refrigerator for your birthday. I can't wait to see your face light up in the middle of the night.
Oh.
Alright, there we go. Good one. Alright, we're done.
Alright, that's
too many jokes for me. That's too many jokes for me. Let's go to our next segue for this culture news.
I'll write it down this time.
Gonna be... Now you have to give me an alliteration.
Ooh.
Just one story here. This is coming out of, I guess, U.S. business news, in which a judge has paused the Paramount-Warner merger after challenges from 12 states. This is by Associated Press and on The Guardian. A federal judge on Monday, the 20th of July, ordered Paramount and Warner Bros. Discovery to halt their $81 billion merger for at least 2 weeks, allowing states that are challenging the deal more time to see their case through in court. 12 states, led by California, sued to block Paramount's pending buyout of Warner last week, alleging that such a combination would extinguish competition in Hollywood and lead to fewer choices for consumers, particularly moviegoers and cable customers across the U.S. The state's top prosecutors called on Warner and Paramount to not close the transaction until after a court had time to fully reevaluate their claims. And when the companies refused, they filed for a temporary restraining order, which is what District Judge Araceli Martinez Olguin granted on the 20th of July. That opens the door to a potential preliminary injunction, but the states are also seeking to effectively block the deal. This is a critical first win in our case to ensure this mega merger never sees the light of day, Rob Bonta, the California Attorney General, said in a statement following Monday's order. History tells the tale of what happens when a few people have great power over the markets that are central to American lives. Fewer opportunities for more people, worse products and service for all people. The Warner Paramount tie-up would bring together 2 of the 5 last legacy studios in Hollywood, as well as hosts of TV networks, titles, filings, streaming libraries, and news operations. That would include Warner's HBO Max, fan favorites such as Harry Potter, and even CNN coming out under the same roof of Paramount-owned CBS, movies including Top Gun and the Paramount Plus streaming service. Paramount did not immediately comment on the order, but the company, which was bought by Skydance just last year, has vowed to vigorously defend its Warner acquisition. Paramount previously called the states compliant wrong on both the facts and the law, maintaining that a merger would instead strengthen competition against bigger entertainment rivals. Yeah, you would say that, wouldn't you? Because you want to get this merger through. Hello, Almond. Thank you for your marine acorn. Maintaining that the merger would strengthen competition against bigger entertainment rivals. It touted the regulatory green lights that the deal has received elsewhere, including from the cloud. Yeah, Trump is letting us do it, so it's great because we all know that he passes very logical, not completely breaking economic law all the time. He hates monopolies. The temporary restraining order, imagine using Trump as your defense, right? In my defense, Trump said yes. That's your defense. That's your defense. That's all you got? The temporary restraining order granted on the 20th of July halts the deal from progressing for at least 14 days, although the pause could be extended for up to 28. The court has set the 3rd of August as a date for hearing the state's preliminary injunction motion, although the schedule could also be pushed back. So, I don't understand this. It's like so obvious to the layman, like somebody who doesn't even know anything about economics is like, wait, two big companies are combining to one big company? And that's gonna make more competition? How? I mean, and this is after Warner Bros. Is already, like, all of these companies have merged already. Like, half of these companies are already 5 companies.
News,
yeah.
Sky, it's Richard Ellison, or his name is. That guy, that piece of shit. The guy that started Oracle. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, ready for my headline already?
I am ready for your...
Your headline should read.
Yeah, I guess it should read.
Yes, the headline should read, Media Megalomaniacs Merger Modified by Major Moratorium.
Indeed. Indeed.
Glasses. There. All right, no blow.
I was waiting. Sometimes the chat is slow. I guess we'll probably talk about this in 2 more weeks about, and it failed, or they did it, they stopped them. I don't know. I don't see the logic here.
The actual good news
regulated corporations is what we're in right now. Yep. And I'll give you a non sequitur for this day in history.
Our non sequitur. So you don't even have to think. Awesome for you. On this day in history. Oh my goodness, this was a bad day in history. We'll get back to that. Looking for good news though. July 21st in the year 1861, the first Battle of Bull Run, which was called the Manassas by the South, was fought during the American Civil War. It was a stupid, fucking pointless. It was stupid. People took picnic baskets out to it to watch a war. They thought it was going to be like a game. Oh wow, that guy's head got blown off. This ain't a game. Yeah, people are really stupid. Stupid is not a recent thing. In 1961, they were really fucking stupid. They thought a battle with cannon and muskets and rifles and shit was going to be like a fun little picnic day. I have no
Stray
fucking
bullet.
idea.
I don't even know her. Never heard of the
Absolutely
stray
no
bullet
sense.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to jump way ahead in the history until 1960. Politician Siramavo Bandaranaike became the world's first woman prime minister when she took office in Ceylon, which is now called Sri Lanka. So 1960. 1987, American heavy metal band Guns N' Roses released the landmark album Appetite for Destruction, which sold more than 17 million copies. How is that a big event in history? It's like, okay, we're just randomly picking an event.
Good for them.
Yeah. Appetite for Destruction, pretty good album. Of course, I went to see Guns N' Roses twice in my life, and I wouldn't recommend it because Axl Rose will waste 20 minutes of your time bitching about whatever the hell he's bitching about. Nobody knows what he's bitching about, by the way. No idea. 2007, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, the final book in the J.K. Rowling Harry Potter series, was released. It's all about culture shit now, right? It's like, oh, look at this. Heavy metal album was released. And I don't consider Guns N' Roses heavy metal, by the way. They're just metal. They're not heavy metal. They're kind of Elton John metal.
Oh, right.
I call them Elton John metal. Right. Heavy metal doesn't have pianos. Just to let you know that. No pianos in heavy metal. This is a little clue for everyone. Guns N' Roses used the fuck out of the piano. Anywho, there you go. I'm saying heavy metal can have an organ, but you can't have a piano. It's got to be plugged in, folks. It's got to be plugged in. Anyway, back to the stories from this day in history. 2011, U.S. Space Shuttle program ended. No more space shuttle. 15 years ago today, after 135 missions, as the orbiter landed at NASA's JFK Space Center in Cape Canaveral, Florida. I was there not too long after that. I was either right before that or right after it. Like, I was there when the last space shuttle was on the launching pad, right? Cape Canaveral. I said, wow, that's the last time anybody's ever going to see that ever again in the history of the world. And everybody looked around me like, we see it every day. Okay, fuck you. Anyway, they pissed all over my excitement. 2024, Joe Biden, 2 years ago, decided to withdraw from the election for some reason. It was a bad decision. I'm totally driven by media assholes. Once again, I still have no idea why there was a Trump-Biden debate in June when neither one of them was a nominee for the party at the time. There was no point to it. I think it was a conspiracy. Someone inside the Biden campaign was there to fuck him over. So that's all that was about. But someday we'll get to the bottom of the fact, why the hell, in the first time in the history of presidential debates, we had a debate in June, right? 5 months before the election. It makes no fucking sense. Egyptians defeated in the Battle of the Pyramids on this day in what year? Holy crap, you're not even going to tell me. Oh, 1798. Napoleon's army of Egypt used a new military tactic, the massive divisional square, to defeat the Egyptian forces of the Morad Bey this day in 1798, the Battle of the Pyramids during Napoleon's Egyptian campaign. Napoleon was kicking ass and taking names in this day in 1798. 1925, one of the dumbest events in history, John T. Scopes is found guilty of teaching evolution. That's right. He's teaching people knowledge, but it goes against that fake book that was written by the anonymous people 2,000 years ago. Don't you understand? You can't teach science in school. So again, the United States wallowing in ignorance to this day in 1925, 100 years ago. And this day, John T. Scopes was found guilty of teaching evolution in Tennessee, which is still among your more ignorant states in the country. If you go to Tennessee and you read a book, and you've ever read a book, you are in the minority. There are a bunch of ignorant motherfuckers in Tennessee. A violation of the state's Butler Act. I'm just saying, it's the truth. Look who they put in look who they put in charge, man. Look at the people they send, right? Look at the people. Scopes, which has been encouraged to challenge the law by ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union, which viewed it as unconstitutional during the circus-like monkey trial, it's still called the Scopes monkey trial. The defense undercut the prosecution's reliance on biblical texts, although Scopes and the ACLU technically lost the battle. Many believe that they won the war by presenting public evidence, Rick. for evolution. Of course, guilty of what? I have no idea what he's guilty of. Guilty of what? What is he doing? Is he, oh my God, you people haven't considered this scientific information. Maybe you ought to consider it. No, we ain't going to consider it. It's not in the Bible full of fake stories that never happened, so it can't be real. Anywho, that's your stupid event 101 years ago. Ignorance wins. 1994 is the birthday of Paul David Wellstone, U.S. Senator, died in a plane crash, eventually replaced by Al Franken, who worked on his campaign. 1934 is the birthday of British actor Jonathan Miller, also a producer and medical doctor. So he's all three of those things. 1926, 100th birthday of Canadian director and producer Norman Jewison. And Sixtus IV was the Pope in 1414. He was born in 1414 and his name was Sixtus IV. I wonder if there's a Sixtus VI. I don't know. I'm not a big Pope. It's also the birthday of Ernest Hemingway. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. American writer Ernest Hemingway, famous for his adventurous life, lucid masculine prose, for which he earned 1954 Nobel Prize for Literature. Was born this day in 1899. And what is now Oak Park, Illinois. Ernest Hemingway famously got to Paris before the Allied troops did in World War II. It was partying at a hotel when they got there. So Ernest Hemingway living the life, and then one day blew his brains out. Couldn't take it anymore. National Day calendar. It's National Junk Food Day and National Be Some Way Day. That's it. That's all it is. It's weeks. Let's see what of it this week. I don't know if it's anything this week. We have a lot of things today. Anyway, that's everything for today. Your technical glitches, your haiku. Well, haikus, there we alliteration,
no poems,
and a bunch of other crap. Or good news, definitely good news, all good news. On Tuesday, July 21st, 2026, and before, well, shit, what did we have?
Is it still ice cream month? It's still ice cream month.
Junk food. On before junk food, yes. It's ice cream month. Yeah,
ice cream month
today. We should.
Yeah, my favorite flavor. The flavor today is
junk food. That's cool.
Rocky Road. There we go.
Rocky Road. That's Elmer Fudd's favorite.
Yeah, of course.
Let's have us. Hey, that's your.
That's my segue. Right? It's ice cream month, and I'm gonna have some Rocky Road later.
And,
I think Rocky Road was the original first, like, funny named ice cream, and then Ben and Jerry's just started making all the ice cream funny names. Like the fuzz found under my grandpa's couch flavor and that kind of stuff.
I think I love the exotic flavors of ice cream. Like jalapeno ice cream is surprisingly
really
good,
oh yeah, that does sound good. But I'm the kind of person who ate jalapenos out of the jar, so not really one to talk about.
I just eat them by the.
Yeah. There are no international UN observances today, so July 21st.
My video.
If you're looking for the days that just don't mean anything to anybody, July 21st might be on that list. Just doesn't mean anything to anyone. You know, just one of those days that goes by and passes by and everyone moves on. This has been Allison here from the Netherlands, Roger from the East Coast of the U.S. As we finish off another good News Day, we've covered all the good things that is hopefully giving you hope in humanity again. Maybe you're going to start your career as a lawyer at 47, or start putting stuff in your root cellar. Whatever you're gonna do, take care of it there, guys. Thank you for being here. And if you're not already following the Before Coffee Podcast on Twitch, and subscribe to the Before Coffee Podcast on YouTube, comment all the videos, like all the videos, do all the things, because the algorithm hates a little bit. We did get a viral short, and by viral I mean like 1,000 people saw it, and we got all those lovely messages from the manga people.
Oh yeah, that was weird. Yeah, did they keep coming?
There was a dude who was so angry he couldn't type knew what he was typing. Right, he was typing with a bunch of typos, didn't really look. And I think I sent the comment to him. I replied to his comment and said, "You should go get a free library card." at your local library because he couldn't type. I mean, I know I'm bad with typos, but if I'm gonna send a paragraph long comment on a YouTube video, I'm gonna at least reread before I press enter. This guy just enter. Fuck you. He was very angry. He was very angry. Anyways, thank you even to our haters. Yeah. Even to our haters, we appreciate the comments and the down. Well, I guess you can't downvote anymore. You can't downvote anymore.
That's all right, haters, man. Okay. Admit you need therapy. Just admit you need therapy, and we'll provide that for you.
We will see you tomorrow for Weird and Wacky Wednesday, in which we'll cover all the. I already have a news story about this, but more weird and wacky news so that we can just make this face. Just make this face at all the news that's going out in the world. Yeah. And here is our hilarious non sequitur mic drop moment. That has nothing to do with anything we talked today.
Legitimately hilarious to make you smile. If you ever watch Hollywood Squares, you know that you gotta earn.
Magazine's clinical sexologist says,
this is the only successful panel show in the United States, other than Whose Lies in It Anyway.
Soft-boiled eggs, because they don't take under 3 minutes. No, I know this one because I posed for Players. You don't actually see anything because my thumb was in the way.
Oh, dear.
Good joke, too.
Shrimpy. He's got a shrimpy.
I'm going to say food.
I'll disagree. Food. All right. Now, here's what happens in a case like this. We could have a 5-square win that you could pull off, Valerie, by picking the only square left. But we'll have to wait and find out how you do right after this. Stay there.
No, not the ad break. No.
We're coming back from ad break.
I love this part. I wish this show would come back. Or maybe they tried to bring it back, but it didn't work.
People watch games from this.
First $1,000 game we've ever had. Valerie going for a 5-square win here. Where you going?
You can't bring back Gilbert.
What a surprise. Okay.
There's no
in a poll, 94% of Hungarians compared
By
to
the way,
only
he's the only
46% of Americans said
people.
doing this was necessary to feel fulfilled. Doing what?
Seeing Wayne Newton live.
Oh, yeah. Hungarians love Wayne Newton.
Having a child.
You're giving a real answer.
I disagree. You fool!
Child is correct, David.
Look, this is just the first.
Oh, no, it was right. Having a child was actually correct. Wow, look at that.
They keep looking at it. So funny. This is the last square. Whoever gets the square wins. You don't do it by default.
When she heard that Phileas Fogg had done it in 80 days, journalist Nellie Bly beat him by doing it in 72 days. What did she do?
Get through to the cable company.
Damn cable companies.
No, I know this. Trust me. Trust me. This is Rowing the Atlantic.
I'm gonna agree.
You fool!
In 72 days. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the Gilbert Gottfried Show.
It gets better. We always do another thing.
He's holding on to this square for dear life.
It's French designer named the atom because of its small size and the explosive effect a woman would have when she wore it. Today, it's better known as
a bikini.
It's in my pants.
No.
But your thumb's covering it.
Yeah. I was about to say that too.
Everybody gets the wrong line.
The tube top.
I agree.
You fool!
The bikini. The bikini. You fool.
Definitely bikini. Yeah. I said bikini too.
I don't know anything.
I like how every time he yells, "You fool" at them, as soon as they answer, he says, "You fool."
It's the bikini.
Right, he knows he's bluffing. They get a real answer and they get a bluff. And they also have a joke of their own.
Gilbert, what significance does 1908 have if you were a Chicago Cubs fan?
That's the
Oh,
year
so
you were in
easy.
Chicago.
I don't know anything about Chicago.
Okay. It's
Is it the Fire?
perfect pitch game.
Oh. 1908 is a... Yeah. People from Chicago are screaming.
Everybody knew that was the wrong answer. Everybody in the panel. Everybody knew it was the wrong answer.
He's like he's getting completely mind fucked by Gilbert Gottfried. Like he doesn't even know his own answers.
The wrong answer.
Yeah.
Oh my God! You
It's the last time they won a World Series, so Valerie, we're going to take
it laughed so much you couldn't give the right answer. Half of this video is just people laughing. It's not even
How many ad breaks did they have back in the day, man?
Somebody gets
Have a lot of ad breaks.
More. That was a long one. Maybe two of those come back.
At this point, I think some of the other celebrities are like, please, it's the right answer. Like, they're just going to start giving thumbs up to be like, please, let us end the show.
Valerie, your turn.
Gilbert Godfrey for the win.
Yeah, for the win. Here we go, another one.
Steve Austin. Steve Austin is a big bad professional wrestler, fully known as...
Tubby.
I know this one. I don't even watch wrestling.
Tubby?
I know this one, because I used to wrestle with Steve Austin. The Crusher.
The Crusher.
You can tell
I
he's
do not recognize. I don't recognize that one, no. Have you ever heard of something called the
Stone Cold
Crusher?
Steve Austin. I know Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Whoopi Goldberg is like, come on, girl, please.
One more time, Gilbert.
By the way,
I've never heard of anybody called the Crusher.
Going out for drinks.
Obviously wrong. Yeah.
The word smog comes from what two words?
Smelly fog. No, it's smoke
He's running
and
out of
fog.
jokes.
Smoke and fog.
He finally just gives the right answer.
Smoke and fog!
We did it! We know what smog means. Woohoo!
The entire show on one square. That was it.
Oh, damn, that was tough.
By the way, even though we never got to a secret square game today, we'll carry the intended prize over to tomorrow's show. Valerie, we're going to give you... Valerie,
You
this was an
fool!
incredible half hour. We're going to give you $500 in psychological counseling.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.